Monsoon session of Parliament to begin on the 20th of July. Sources suggest the Uniform Civil Code Bill likely to be introduced. After Aam Aadmi Party and the Uddhav Sena Congress leader from Himachal backs UCC, the BJP says his party must take a cue. As Uttarakhand readies for the Uniform Civil Code rollout, draft report ready, says Chief Minister Dhami, says it could be a reality soon. Big setback for Teesta Setalvad. Gujarat High Court rejects bail, asks her to surrender. Arson, violence, complete mayhem in Paris over attack on a 17-year-old. And Republic has accessed the order copy in Teesta Setalvad case. This is a so-called activist who spent over a decade trying to fabricate evidence, according to the Gujarat High Court, which has rejected her bail petition, has also directed her to surrender immediately in a case pertaining to the fabrication of evidence to frame innocent people in the 2002 post-Godhra riots cases. I have the order copy with me, and my colleague Priyanka is also joining us live on the broadcast with what the court has said. Priyanka, going through the order, the court has been scathing on Teesta Setalvad and the role she played in fabricating evidence. Priyanka.
Oh, absolutely, Niranjan. And in fact, in this order copy, it has been cited the earlier arguments that had been put forth by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch as well, that had cited the entire modus operandi of how Teesta Setalvad, along with IPS officer Sanjeev Bhatt and the then DGP RB Srikumar, had been carrying out this fabrication of evidence. And that essentially is the case in which she had applied for the bail, an interim bail as well that she had applied for, under whose protection, in fact, she had been given the bail from the judicial custody in the last year in September by the Supreme Court itself. And now, of course, we are seeing that trouble mounting for Teesta Setalvad, as the Gujarat High Court, in fact, has also stated that she will have to immediately surrender, which essentially says this was in response to the senior counsel Mihir Thakur, who had been appearing for Teesta Setalvad when he had asked for a stay on the order of rejecting this regular bail plea that had been filed before the Gujarat High Court. A stay for 30 days had been asked for by the senior counsel Mihir Thakur, to which the bench, in fact, had responded and stated that Teesta Setalvad would have to surrender immediately. And since then, we have seen that the legal team of Teesta Setalvad as well trying to also make sure that they have a game plan before they appear before the apex court as well, because that is the only protection that she can now expect from the entire legal system, since now the Gujarat High Court has also pulled up and stated that she will have to surrender immediately. But looking at the order copy, Niranjan, the order copy in itself also tells us the entire modus operandi of the trio, that is Teesta Setalvad, Sanjeev Bhatt and RB Srikumar, who had they been working at the behest of, whether or not there was a political conspiracy, political conspiracy for defaming the then Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat, that was Narendra Modi. So all of these things had come under the purview of the SIT probe that was being carried out as well. And now, of course, the modus operandi also this round of how Teesta Setalvad would be training and tutoring the witnesses whose statements had been taken in this entire matter, and how they had also been made to sign the blank papers without knowing what they were really signing as far as their statements were concerned. So all of those things have come to light during the course of the entire investigation. Not just that, in fact, they have also stated that the senior Congress leader, that is Ahmed Patel, was also involved in this entire matter. In fact, the trio had been working at the behest of the Congress leader Ahmed Patel as well. There were several lakhs of rupees that had also been transferred to Teesta Setalvad during the time that this entire conspiracy was being carried out by the trio that have been implicated in this matter. And of course, Teesta Setalvad specifically had also been questioned by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch, and they had also specifically asked her about these lakhs of rupees that she has also gotten from the former Congress leader, the late Ahmed Patel, and what really was this money was all about. So all of these things have come under the purview of the interrogation as well. because Teesta Setalvad, along with R.B. Sri Kumar and Sanjeev Bhatt, had also been taken into custody. Their police remand had been sought for during the case, during the time this entire matter had been going on, even in the lower court as well. And we remember how they had been questioned with each other as well, confronted with each other to understand who really had been at the behest of carrying out this entire conspiracy. And there were very shocking that have been reiterated in this order copy as well, that have also been listed out, claiming that this is of course how Teesta Setalvad, along with the others, had been also tutoring the witnesses as well. And the Ahmedabad Crime Branch has also stated that R.B. Sri Kumar and Sanjeev Bhatt had also been exploiting their positions as an IPS officer, senior IPS officers, and that is by intimidating the witnesses as well, the same witnesses that were being tutored by Teesta Setalvad. So all of these things have been reiterated once again in the order that we have also accessed, Niranjan, that also enlists the entire modus operandi of the trio. And of course, we will have to wait and watch on whether or not Teesta Setalvad is given some relief from the Apex Court. But as of now, trouble mounting for her and the entire legal team, in fact, in a huddle to figure out how they will be approaching the Apex Court, because they now have stated that that is the only remedy that is available for them if they want to keep Teesta Setalvad outside of the judicial custody.
You know, I'm just pulling out excerpts of what the court has said. The court has said that she made attempts to create an atmosphere to unsettle democratically elected government, to bring disrepute to the image of the then Chief Minister, and to see that he goes to jail. So the court to say this in an order is extremely scathing, saying that she wanted the then Chief Minister, who was Narendra Modi, saying that she wanted him to be jailed. Priyanka.
Just that, not just that, Niranjan, we have seen how Teesta Setalvad, in fact, even in the affidavits that had been submitted before the court by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch, even in the Metro Court, even in the Gujarat High Court, where they have listed down the entire details of what they have gathered during the time that they questioned Teesta Setalvad. They questioned several other witnesses, not just the trio, Niranjan, because they were also trying to understand how the fabrication of the entire evidence was taking place and how the modus operandi had also been being perpetrated by this trio, and how the Teesta Setalvad had been cornering these witnesses and trying to tell them and forcing them into making these statements that they did not essentially want to make. And they were Teesta Setalvad, along with the R.B. Sri Kumar and Sanjeev Bhatt, had in fact been intimidating these witnesses as well for making these kind of statements. So these are shocking details, of course, Niranjan, that have come to light during the course of the investigation that also continues parallelly by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch as of now. And of course, we had seen till last year how the trio, as I mentioned earlier, had been taken into custody. They had been confronted, and several other links of this entire nexus had also been uncovered, during the course of which it had come to light that there were Congress leaders that had been involved. The late Ahmed Patel himself had also been deeply involved in making sure that this kind of a political vendetta was being carried out on the name of the 2002 riots. And that has been something which has been reiterated by the Apex Court as well, Niranjan, during the time that it had all come to light that the SIT probe in which the witnesses in fact were being tutored and the witnesses were being tampered with, the fabrication of the evidence was being carried out. So all of this had also been noted by the Apex Court, claiming that how these several workers, several activists, in fact, on the ground during that time of the probe of 2002 were carrying out this kind of a political vendetta, and which had also been proved as a clincher when Ahmed Patel's name had been taken in the affidavit which had been filed by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch before the Metropolitan Court during the time that the entire hearing had been underway, when Teesta Setalvad had also been produced, and along with the other two IPS officers, that are R.B. Sri Kumar and Sanjeev Bhatt, had also been taken into custody. So all of these points, in fact, had been reiterated once again in the order that has come to light today, Niranjan, accessed by Republic TV, that essentially lists down the entire modus operandi of this entire trio. And we will have to see as to how the investigation as well, Niranjan, continues parallelly by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch in this matter.
Yes, and another mention that I'm going through this order copy here, Priyanka, it says that some political parties are alleged to have given her a task to do the aforesaid things, tomorrow's situation may arise that some outside force may utilize and convince a person to make efforts in similar line, causing danger to the nation or to a particular state by adopting the same modality. So, and they've also mentioned the late Ahmed Patel. So the reference is clear. The court order mentions the Congress party. The court order mentions the Congress party, saying that Teesta Setalvad was tasked by the Congress party.
Well, that's right, Niranjan. As I mentioned, even during the course of the investigation that was being carried out by the Ahmedabad Crime Branch, it had been mentioned that there were senior Congress leaders that had been involved at the behest of which the trio had been working, which included Teesta Setalvad, who had been the point person for the Congress
Priyanka,
leader.
just hold on to your thoughts there. I'm getting in some responses to this breaking news story here. Ishkaran Bandari, advocate, joining us on the phone line. Ishkaran, I have the order of the Supreme Court in front of me on the Teesta Setalvad bail rejection. It mentions how she took money, and this is the court order summarizing why her bail cannot be granted. Taking note of the fact that she was allegedly paid by the late Ahmed Patel, and that the late Ahmed Patel gave her money, arranged funds for her. The court also saying that she wanted the then Chief Minister jailed and that she wanted to see him go to jail, a reference to Narendra Modi, now the Prime Minister, who was then the Chief Minister. Also mentioning how she was tasked by a political party. The reference is clear. She was tasked by the Congress party. All of this is a matter of a court document, and it's extremely damaging, extremely serious. Ishkaran.
See, trying to fix and frame somebody by creating evidences, by creating a campaign to jail somebody, trying to misuse the law as a weapon to not only destabilize an elected government, but to actually send people into jail. What can be a more serious offense than that? The sanctity of entire legal system gets corrupted if false evidence, false documents, false affidavits, tutored witnesses are used to frame people. So we have to see it from the scale of trying to use law to dislodge an elected chief minister, to put people in jail who are innocent. Because if you are giving false evidence to jail innocent people, that's a very serious crime, including fabrication of evidence. Along with that, if there was money paid or benefits given so that a person acts to frame somebody, all that is extremely serious and needs to be taken to its logical conclusion at the earliest with a rapid trial. Also, courts have very frequently denied bail when they believe there is a chance of witness tampering, evidence tampering. Now, in a case where there are already these allegations of a person having done all this, then it is a logical order, I think, which came from the Honorable High Court, where they have denied bail and told the person to surrender to custody immediately. This is a case of a magnitude where you are not doing only a crime. You are using the legal processes, the investigative processes, the judicial processes to commit the crime. So in my view, the gravity increases manyfold in this sort of a crime because this makes the legal system an instrumentality of doing a crime. So the High Court order has gone on those lines.
And we're picking up some more breaking news now that Teesta Setalvad is going to move the Supreme Court against the Gujarat High Court order. Ishkaran, thank you for joining us. We're getting news that she's going to move the Supreme Court now against the Gujarat High Court order. Priyanka, can you confirm that? Just picking up news that she's likely to move the Supreme Court, and it's also possible that the Supreme Court could hear her case today. Priyanka.
Well, Niranjan, we have been hearing from the legal team of Teesta Setalvad the second that the bench had stated that she will have to surrender immediately. We have seen that the legal team of Teesta Setalvad had been scrambling to get the order copy of the Gujarat High Court so that they can take any steps regarding the legal remedy that is available to them. And the next logical course of action as far as the legal remedies are concerned for Teesta Setalvad is to approach the Supreme Court, since Niranjan, as I mentioned, that she had been given protection from the interim bail that had been granted by Supreme Court last September, because of which she had been released from the judicial custody in September 2022. And since then, now, of course, we are seeing that the Gujarat High Court has stated that the regular bail plea, in fact, has been rejected and has stated that she will have to surrender immediately. That nullifies the protection that she had been given. from the apex court as well. Now, of course, the legal teams of Teesta Setalvad had stated that they will be approaching the Supreme Court, since that is the only remedy that is available to them. And because of this, Niranjan, the senior counsel of Teesta Setalvad, Mihir Thakur, had also appealed to the court in the Gujarat High Court today in the morning, had stated they had pleaded for a 30-day stay on the order so that they have some time.
Yeah,
to
Priyanka, stay with me.
apex.
Priyanka, just hang on there just for a second, because I have Nalin Kohli of the BJP also joining us. He's also an advocate. So, Nalin Kohli, going through the court order, and the court has taken into cognizance, and I'm reading some of the excerpts, Nalin Kohli. The court, while rejecting bail to Teesta Setalvad, has said that she is an influential person, may try to tamper evidence, etc., but also makes a mention of how he tried to create an atmosphere to unsettle a democratically elected government, to bring disrepute to the image of the then chief minister and to ensure he goes to jail. Also making a mention of how a political party is alleged to have given her a task to do all of the above. Very, very serious allegations. It's perhaps the first time that a political party, and in this order, it mentions Ahmed Patel as well. So the reference to the party is clear. The party is the Congress party. Allegation is very serious, Nalin Kohli.
I haven't read the order. However, as a principle, if the Honorable Gujarat High Court has passed an order or a judgment, an order in this case, rejecting irregular bail and pass such scathing comments, evidently in those arguments and what was raised, the court must have seen some merit. And whatever was being projected by the legal team of Teesta Setalvad obviously was not cutting ice in terms of the grave allegations against her. So the court being a judicial body and a constitutional court being the High Court, if it's passed it, that order is operational on her. Now, any citizen, it's not about A, B or C, as part of his or her legal rights, can certainly appeal an order of a court to a higher court. In this case, it would be the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And I'm sure a legal team will appeal to it. I don't see anything political in that, in terms of the legal rights of a person. But I would certainly hope that the concerned person here, in Teesta Setalvad, doesn't try to even politicize the courts. Because enough has been written over the last decade and a half, with regard to her, the issues that she raised, the manner in which she was targeting, the facts that she was projecting, which turned out to be wrong. I recall that the media had even pointed out that funds that were collected in the name of victims was used to keep a lifestyle going and was spent on a better lifestyle rather than helping victims. These were things that one recalls way back. It had come at some point, if I recall correctly, in the media. I think she has her legal rights. And I hope that the Congress party in this case does not try to politicize things.
Let's see where the story goes. Nalin Kohli, we are hearing Supreme Court is going to hear her case today. She's moved the Supreme Court immediately, and we are hearing that the Supreme Court will hear her case. Nalin Kohli, thank you for joining us. That's the first BJP response. Taking a short break now. We'll come back and get you more details, because this story is going to continue. Teesta has moved the Supreme Court against the Gujarat High Court order. She could, I mean, of course, she has to surrender. She has no choice according to the Gujarat High Court order. And she's trying her last attempt by going to the Supreme Court, knocking on the doors of the Supreme Court to get some sort of relief. And the Supreme Court is going to hear her case shortly. Today is what we are picking up. We'll take a short break at this point and come back with more details and the observations of the court in this case. Stay tuned.
Whiting School of Engineering at Johns Hopkins University, the top 7th ranked university of the US, and Amity University have partnered to offer master's and doctoral degrees in engineering. Study partly in India and partly in the US or fully in India. For details, visit amity.edu/WSEJHU.
आप कह रहे शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं, खेला है आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला है।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
Kind of security drill that has been put on ground as far as the administration is concerned. Administration looking that despite the yatris somewhere around 5 lakh have registered through the portal, but they are expecting that the rush will increase in coming days. So all kind of facilities have been made arranged for them. When we talk about the Home Minister Amit Shah, he has also tweeted in the morning wishing the best to the Amarnath Yatris coming to the Jammu and Kashmir, and then he has also praised the kind of security drill that has been done by the agencies on ground, and also he has praised the administration as far as the facilities for the yatris is concerned. This is the one important point as far as the yatris health is concerned. So they have provided the health points, the nursing staff has been provided, the assistants will be there, the medical teams have been set up, oxygen cylinders have been, similarly the ambulances have been put on the standby mode in case any yatri finds any difficulty in breathing at such heights. Similarly, the DRDO has come up with a 200-bedded hospital. One is at the Baltal access and the another is at the Pahalgam access. So all kind of arrangements are coming from the Jammu and Kashmir administration, because if we see the yatra pattern post abrogation of Article 370, the 2 years of 2020-21 yatra was put on hold because of the COVID restrictions, then picked up again in 2022 where some 4 lakh yatris had registered their number with the Shrine Board, but this time the administration has already geared up with the 5 lakh yatris.
आपने कंट्रोवर्शियल स्टेटमेंट दी जिसमें आपने कहा कि महाराष्ट्र के में अचानक कुछ जिलों में औरंगजेब की औलादें पैदा हुई। लोगों ने कहा कि एक उप मुख्यमंत्री, वो भी देवेंद्र फडणवीस के कद के नेता, वो कम्युनल लैंग्वेज क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं? स्टेटमेंट दी उद्धव ठाकरे को कॉर्नर करने के, क्योंकि फिर उद्धव ठाकरे फोर्स हो जाएंगे, उनको अपना पोजीशन क्लियर करना होगा।
वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना कि आप कल तक हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे कहते थे, बाद में आपने हिंदू हृदय सम्राट कहना बंद कर दिया। मुसलमानों को आप विकास के मुख्य धारा में लाओ, हमें कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है, उनके पढ़ने पर पैसा खर्च करो, हमें कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है, लेकिन अगर आप तुष्टीकरण की नीति के चलते गलत चीज़ों को भी आप अगर सपोर्ट करेंगे, हमें मंजूर नहीं है, और उसके बाद कहेंगे हमने हिंदुत्व कहाँ छोड़ा है। भाई छोड़ा है बिल्कुल, कौन सा हिंदुत्व है आपके पास?
कब तक आंदोलन आपका चलता रहेगा? ये तो
जब तक हमारी मांगे पूरा नहीं होंगी तब तक हम यहीं पर रहेंगे, या मैं मारे या जो भी करें हम यहीं पर रहेंगे। मार ले या तो मार दें, बात खत्म। जो या तो हमारे मांग पूरा कर, मार के यहीं पर रख दें।
चंद्रशेखर जी से मिले?
चंद्रशेखर जी क्या मिलेंगे? वो मिलते नहीं है हम लोगों से,
मिलते ही नहीं हम लोगों से।
हमारा बात ही समझ में नहीं आया।
हर एक दिन संशोधन, कुछ ना कुछ संशोधन होते जा रहा है।
11 दिन में कुल 8 संशोधन हुआ।
पहले तो तेजस्वी यादव आपसे आते थे, मिलते थे जब विरोधी दल के नेता,
जब विपक्ष तो अपना
चाचा का चंगुल
तेजस्वी यादव जी, चाचा ले डूबेगा भतीजा को, देख लीजिएगा।
कैरियर खराब कर रहे हैं नीतीश कुमार पीएम मटेरियल बनना चाह रहे हैं, और तेजस्वी यादव को यहाँ विधानसभा में जो मतलब उनका है, उनका सारा सीट, उनका मुख्यमंत्री का सीट सब जाएगा, क्योंकि यूपी वाले, राजस्थान वाले, मध्य प्रदेश वाले नहीं आएंगे उनको वोट देने विधानसभा में। हम बिहारी ही उनको वोट देंगे।
समय आ गया है, तेजस्वी को भी ले डूबने का चक्कर, प्रधानमंत्री बनने के चक्कर में यहाँ के बीच में जाएगा, और कुछ मिलने वाला है नहीं, लास्ट टाइम है, और सब चीज बर्बाद कर रहे हैं। और
बिहार के बाहर को लोगों को कितना % सीट आरक्षण होना चाहिए?
नहीं किया ना, ये नहीं किया।
कुछ भी देखिए, कुछ भी अभी तक देखिए, हम बताते हैं
नियम का
बीपीएससी का जो एग्जाम होता है उसमें भी हर चीज डिसाइडेड होता है, यहाँ कुछ भी डिसाइडेड नहीं है, ना सिलेबस, ना डिटेल भैया, ना डिटेल्ड सिलेबस दिया है।
नियम कहता है भारतीय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अकॉर्डिंग 10% होता है, लेकिन आपसे निकला हुआ झारखंड राज्य डोमिसाइल लागू किया, 1% आरक्षण नहीं दिया बिहारी को, तो आप कैसे दे दीजिएगा? वो भी क्लियर करिए, आप कितना %, 10% दे रहे हैं या 50%, वो क्लियर नहीं कर रहा है, नोटिस नहीं निकाल रहा है, जिसके कारण हम लोग आंदोलन कर रहे हैं।
अभी झारखंड में हुआ ना, झारखंड में देखिए बगल में
यूपी में है कि अगर आप 5 साल से यूपी का रेसिडेंशियल आप वहाँ से रह रहे हैं, तब आप वहाँ यूपी में टीचर में डाल सकते हैं, वो भी 10% के लिए। और हम लोगों में नहीं है, यहाँ कुछ नहीं है।
ये आंदोलन अब लगातार चलता रहेगा,
चलते रहेगी जब तक चलेगी।
कितने लोग हैं आप?
लगभग अभी कम से कम 5
मिलेगा। अभी तो ये डेमो था, अभी देखने को मिलेगा।
ये कोविड जंबो सेंटर स्कैम को लेकर 20, 30, 40 करोड़ रुपए का घोटाला हुआ है। मुझे नहीं लगता कि इस तरह की भ्रष्टाचार जो होती है वो हो सकती है विदाउट इंस्ट्रक्शंस फ्रॉम द टॉप। आपको क्या लगता है?
मैं आज इतना ही कह सकता हूँ, ये जो मुंबई म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन है, इसमें उन्होंने अपॉइंट किए हुए जो उनके लोग थे, जो हैंडलर्स वहाँ पर थे, वो हैंडलर्स के बिना ये हो ही नहीं सकता।
तो डायरेक्ट फिट उंगली तो उद्धव ठाकरे पे जाती है।
देखिए, आप उठेंगे तो जरूर, क्योंकि आपके हैंडलर्स हैं।
और वो अगर कहें कि मुझे पता ही नहीं है,
इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन।
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उनकी बनती है कि
बनेगी, क्यों नहीं बनेगी?
उन्होंने तो एक भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिया।
वो तो देते ही नहीं।
इस कैंप पर उन्होंने देना चाहिए कि नहीं?
बिल्कुल देना चाहिए, पर नहीं देंगे वो।
आप कह रहे शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं।
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं, मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
Kind of security drill that has been put on ground as far as the administration is concerned. Administration looking that despite the Yatris somewhere around 5 lakh have registered through the portal, but they are expecting that the rush will increase in coming days. So all kind of facilities have been made arranged for them. When we talk about the Home Minister Amit Shah, he has also tweeted in the morning wishing the best to the Amarnath Yatris coming to the Jammu and Kashmir, and then he has also praised the kind of security drill that has been done by the agencies on ground, and also he has praised the administration as far as the facilities for the Yatris is concerned. This is the one important point as far as the Yatris health is concerned. So they have provided the health points, the nursing staff has been provided, the assistants will be there, the medical teams have been set up, oxygen cylinders have been, similarly the ambulances have been put on the standby mode in case any Yatri finds any difficulty in breathing at such heights. Similarly, the DRDO has come up with a 200-bedded hospital. One is at the Baltal access and the another is at the Pahalgam access. So all kind of arrangements are coming from the Jammu and Kashmir administration, because if we see the Yatra pattern post abrogation of Article 370, the 2 years of 2020-21 Yatra was put on hold because of the COVID restrictions, then picked up again in 2022 where some 4 lakh Yatris had registered their number with the Shrine Board, but this time the administration has already geared up with the 5 lakh Yatris when the expectations is around 8 lakh. So a lot of arrangements on dime, and yes, tomorrow the another batch will leave from Baltal as well as from the Nunwan base camp. We are also seeing this Yatra provides a livelihood to the local community. Yesterday when we saw the visuals coming from the South Kashmir highway, the warm welcome was given to the Yatris by the locals because it supports the economy of the Jammu and Kashmir, be it the Poni.
2023 is one of the key years in making Indian history, where our nation holds the G20 presidency. India is setting the agenda for the world. Healthcare is one of the most significant factors in the growth of any economy, and this session is on innovation. Redefining Indian healthcare ecosystem will highlight the transformational journey of the Indian healthcare system with a focus on improving healthcare infrastructure and digital health innovation. To carry the conversation further, I would now like to invite a very distinguished guest who is the chairman for Fortis Heart Memorial Research Institute and Fortis Hospital. An active interventional cardiologist, he has performed more than 20,000 coronary, renal, and peripheral angioplasticities. He's a pioneer in electrophysiology and has established the first dedicated electrophysiology department of India at the Escorts Heart Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome on stage Padma Bhushan, Dr. T.S. Clare for an opening address.
Thank you very much for kind introduction, and I thank the Republic Media, particularly my friend Arnav, for inviting me to this wonderful program. And I don't know how to forward my slides, so there is, yeah. So, yeah, so this is just to share some of the realities that when we talk about the longevity of life, we are at 70.42 in 2023, and most of the European countries are well beyond 82, 83, and I think the maximum is around 85 in Japan or so. So this just shows the comparative thing. When we compare with our neighbors, our countries, one must realize that Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, they are ahead of us. This is the data from infant mortality rate. If you see the under 5 mortality also, India is not still the best in SAARC countries. Sri Lanka is much better, Nepal is better, and even Bangladesh is better than us. So that's what we should realize. So what are the challenges now? We talk about the 21st century. Healthcare has been always a complex issue. We know that. And the 21st century has put another, unprecedented challenges because of many reasons. Healthcare costs are soaring, demand for more personal patient experience and an increased effort to deliver care to remote areas and underserved populations is a big challenge, particularly for our country. So, what can be done to solve some of these problems? The biggest thing which is going to help us in the future is the innovation in technology. I think the technology is going to drive future in medicine, like artificial intelligence, cloud, healthcare solutions. With the expanding use of connected devices coupled with computer vision and the artificial intelligence, the healthcare industry is being redefined by augmented reality and virtual reality. So in short, if I have to say, what is artificial intelligence in healthcare? Artificial intelligence is that the thing which has to be done by human beings, by the doctors, by nurses, computer will do for you. Artificial intelligence is going to a level which will perform better than more than 95% of the individuals themselves, because 4 or 5% will remain always smarter than the artificial intelligence. But at least an average nurse or the average doctor, artificial intelligence will give better solutions. And in fact, there is a controversy that some people think artificial intelligence may overscore human intelligence, so that we have to see in the future what is going to happen. So this is if we see the immediate 5 years versus 25 years, various parts of the world, United States, European Union, Asia. So percentage of use of AI in genomic analysis, artificial reality, AI in medical decision making, and if you see long term is, like 25 years, you will have designer babies, nanotechnology. Hospital will not be the same hospital. The buildings will be smaller. They will be more efficient. It has to be redesigned. And this is how it's expected that the artificial intelligence and computerization, digital health is going to change the landscape of healthcare. So coming to the second digital health module, which is telemedicine. I must say that in any adversity there is an opportunity, and I think we should thank COVID, because COVID brought digital health to the forefront maybe 20-25 years before it, otherwise it would have become. So we can do telemedicine for preventive, for diagnostic, for therapeutic reasons. Now, when we talk about telemedicine, and telemedicine is not one thing, it is multiple. It's not only diagnostic. We can, like in COVID, for example, I must have given hundreds of consultations all across India, Bangladesh, Nepal. Those patients, they never had to visit the country. In fact, 90% or 95% of the patients in cardiology, they don't need to come to Delhi for diagnostic and treatment if proper teleconsultation is given. Like there are patients sitting in Arunachal Pradesh, there are patients sitting in Ladakh, and you can imagine how much difficult and cost they will have to incur if they have to come to Delhi. By telemedicine, they can take the best opinion from the so-called best doctor in Delhi, Bombay, or in Bangalore. And the second thing which is going to change is the use of robotics. We know that it is almost 15 years back when a surgeon in New York operated on a patient in Strasbourg in France. They did a robotic cholecystectomy. After that, the use of robotics is increasing. Now, for example, if there is a cath lab in Leh or Ladakh and they have the robotic system, I can do angioplasty sitting in Delhi. I don't have to go physically. So that is the kind of thing which is going to change in the future.
The Whiting School of Engineering at Johns Hopkins University, the top 7th ranked university of the US, and Amity University have partnered to offer master's and doctoral degrees in engineering. Study partly in India and partly in the US or fully in India. For details, visit amity.edu/WSEJHU.
आप कह रहे शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं,
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
Kind of security drill that has been put on ground as far as the administration is concerned. Administration looking that despite the yatris somewhere around 5 lakh have registered through the portal, but they are expecting that the rush will increase in coming days. So all kind of facilities have been made arranged for them. When we talk about the Home Minister Amit Shah, he has also tweeted in the morning wishing the best to the Amarnath Yatris coming to the Jammu and Kashmir, and then he has also praised the kind of security drill that has been done by the agencies on ground, and also he has praised the administration as far as the facilities for the yatris is concerned. This is the one important point as far as the yatris health is concerned. So they have provided the health points, the nursing staff has been provided, the assistants will be there, the medical teams have been set up, oxygen cylinders have been, similarly the ambulances have been put on the standby mode in case any yatri finds any difficulty in breathing at such heights. Similarly, the DRDO has come up with the 200-bedded hospital. One is at the Baltal access and the another is at the Pahalgam access. So all kind of arrangements are coming from the Jammu and Kashmir administration, because if we see the yatra pattern post abrogation of Article 370, the 2 years of 2020-21 yatra was put on hold because of the COVID restrictions, then picked up again in 2022 where some 4 lakh yatris had registered their number with the Shrine Board, but this time the administration has already geared up with the 5 lakh yatris when the expectations is around 8 lakh. So a lot of arrangements on time. And yes, tomorrow the another batch will leave from Baltal as well as from the Nunwan base camp. We are also seeing this yatra provides a livelihood to the local community. Yesterday when we saw the visuals coming from the South Kashmir highway, the warm welcome was given to the yatris by the locals because it supports the economy of the Jammu and Kashmir, be it the Poni wala, Palki wala, Dandi wala, and anybody who's in this business of service providers to the Amarnath Yatra. Definitely it helps them to increase their livelihood. And also the Amarnath Yatra is this time the 2 months affair. This is a 62 days yatra that has begun from today morning at 5 o'clock.
आप कह रहे हैं शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं,
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं?
Electronic medical records. It's very, very important that we will have electronic medical records and digital prescription. Digital prescription means that, for example, when a doctor writes prescription, 70% you can't read. Even the pharmacist doesn't read how to, doctors' handwritings are usually bad. So wrong medicines are given. But if I'm doing a digital prescription, if I'm writing a medicine which is interfering with my other medicine, it will not take. It will give me caution. It will say, no, it is not, compatible with this drug. So the chances of error are decreasing because of that. Now, when we talk about telemedicine, there will be in future tele-CCUs, tele-ICUs. For example, Dr. Khilani, he is one of the known specialists in critical care. He can monitor critical care units, maybe far-flung areas. You can take rounds, you can see the patient, the local staff will tell you the numbers, and then you can advise them appropriately sitting right in Delhi. Similarly, for example, cardiology, if there is a patient in a small town in, Arunachal Pradesh, if they have a CCU, which is connected to our CCU, we can see those patients, we can advise those patients, we can direct the therapy. So thus, even the smaller areas, far-flung areas can get the standard of care in medicine because of the telemedicine. Now, not only that, see, all these medicines, all these drugs are given on the basis of trials. Trials means a lot of people are involved in that. But still, if I give telmisartan to one particular patient, maybe his genes are different. The futuristic will be the pharmaceutical companies will collaborate with the genomic studies to show that that particular molecule is given to that particular individual, not everybody. So those are the things. For example, telmisartan may work in one patient, it may not work in the second patient. But the study, I don't have information that who is the patient who is going to tolerate telmisartan better. But those things will come in the future. Another thing which is going to happen is in healthcare is gaming applications. See. As far as the health is concerned, gaming applications were just sports in the way that the children play, that they become a surgeon, they are doing angioplasty, whatever, blah, blah. But now the healthcare has taken a notice that gaming application can be used for the good of healthcare, particularly in education of nurses, education. So you have games. Through the application of game, you can learn healthcare systems. So those are the things which are going to. So I think telemedicine is going to be much bigger, and it's going to be much useful particularly for a country like India. Then what I feel that one of the gap in India is still we have been talking about this public-private partnership, but it is not happening on that scale. For example, even our minister was saying that they have the hospital, civil hospital in smaller towns. But let me tell you, those hospitals are there. They don't have staff. They don't have trained people. So ultimately, in the reality, the delivery of healthcare, of standard of care is not existing on those places. So if we do public-private partnerships, I don't know why, for example, my district is Ludhiana, and there is a town called Samrala. There is a huge civil hospital. But if you go there, it's pathetic. So if that hospital is given to some private healthcare system, I am sure that the things will improve much more. So those things should be done as far as my suggestion is concerned. Now coming to the medical education. Medical education also is at crossroads in India now. We have made 705 medical colleges, but believe me, 60% of them are below standard, without proper teachers, without proper training. So it is not just a making of the medical college or nursing colleges, it is the quality of education which matters. So for that, what we can do is, which is again easy through telemedicine. For example, we have a national pool of teachers. For example, a doctor, a professor in All India Institute of Medical Sciences of PGH Chandigarh is giving a lecture. Why not transmit that lecture to all over medical colleges? So everybody can learn, everybody can, so government doesn't have to spend, you don't need so many professors actually now in future. So even the National Medical Commission may modify the requirement of teachers in medical college if you have a central pool where you can, not only that, those lectures should be retrievable, they should be available for the listener to listen, doctors or nurses anytime they want. So I feel that national faculty pool and virtual teaching looks to be a more practical feature. Now another thing, everybody is talking about integration of allopathy with indigenous systems, but again I would say, as far as I know, not really much is happening. There is no collaborative research, no collaborative understanding. So that also needs to be done, and I am sure the government is serious about this, but still we are far behind. This integration needs to be done. Now coming to the preventive health. Focus on mental health, communicable disease, mother and child health, care of geriatric population. We are going to have a big problem in the future. Already Western civilization has this problem that people are aging. So how to take care of those people is going to be a very big challenge, and we need to be prepared for that. So in India, the knowledge of an average man about health and body parts is dismal. I tell you, as a cardiologist, I can tell you that many people even don't know heart hai kahan. Is it right side, center? They have no idea. So they have, a minister was talking about drug-eluting stents. I'm very impressed with his knowledge. But as an average man, he has no idea what is stent. Stent ko stunt hi bolte hain wo. They have no idea. So we need to educate our public about health. And it is a pity that in India there are 70 or 80 Baba channels, some Baba Asharam channel, Baba Nirmal channel, but there is no health channel. So I seriously suggest to the government that there should be a national health channel 24/7 where prominent people, knowledgeable people can be brought and they can give health education to people and preventive aspects. Let me tell you one thing, that in 2021, there were 18 million deaths in the world because of cardiovascular disease. And out of those 18 million people, 70% are preventable premature deaths. 70%, there is the data to show that. Similarly, today, right now, we have almost 68 million people in India with diabetes. If these people adopt healthy lifestyle, that means weight reduction and exercise and diet care, believe me, 50% will become non-diabetic right away. And the remaining 50%, their requirement of drugs will become 1/3. So we as a nation have not really realized the value of proper healthy lifestyle and preventive health. We talk about it, but we don't do it in the reality. Then the government has done many things, like the Mantri was speaking on Ayush Bharat scheme and covering some families. But I feel, okay, that's all right, but I feel the solution, one of the solutions to the healthcare problem is that the insurance should be mandatory by rule. Everybody has to be insured for health. It's a pity that we cannot drive a car without insurance on the road. But we can dance in the center of the road without insurance. We can get hit, but we don't have insurance. So I strongly feel that insurance should be by law. Everybody should pay insurance who can afford. The people who can't afford, for them, Ayush Bharat has come, government should pay insurance. Rather than, bringing these schemes, that will be more effective. That's number one. Number two, we all know as doctors that Ayush Bharat is not adopted by every hospital. For example, private hospital, most of them, they can't afford to give treatment under Ayush because their rates are so low. So practically that is not happening. So what is best? Everybody has insurance. Everybody has a right to go to any hospital he wants. And it is possible. I tell you, India is 142 crore people today. If everybody contributes 5,000 rupees per month, per year, you will get 7 lakh crore kitty. The healthcare which is being spent, the government budget is 5 lakh crore. It's more than that. And I'm sure people better than me can work on the statistics. I believe with proper insurance, everybody's health can be taken care of, and we should move in that direction. So, what is ideal healthcare scenario in any country? Ideal healthcare scenario is that every person, irrespective of his caste, location, his financial status, should get equal treatment, whatever is being available to the richest person in that country. So it should be holistic, it has to be cost effective, it has to be affordable, accessible. Accessibility is a big issue. It should be qualitative, quality care, and it should be relevant to our society in India rather than relevant to the Western civilization. So I think with these remarks, I thank the organizers. Thank you very much.
आप कह रहे शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं,
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
Kind of security drill that has been put on ground as far as the administration is concerned. Administration looking that despite the Yatris somewhere around 5 lakh have registered through the portal, but they are expecting that the rush will increase in coming days. So all kind of facilities have been made arranged for them. When we talk about the Home Minister Amit Shah, he has also tweeted in the morning wishing the best to the Amarnath Yatris coming to the Jammu and Kashmir, and then he has also praised the kind of security drill that has been done by the agencies on ground, and also he has praised the administration as far as the facilities for the Yatris is concerned. This is the one important point as far as the Yatris' health is concerned. So they have provided the health points, the nursing staff has been provided, the assistants will be there, the medical teams have been set up, oxygen cylinders have been, similarly the ambulances have been put on the standby mode in case any Yatri finds any difficulty in breathing at such heights. Similarly, the DRDO has come up with a 200-bedded hospital. One is at the Baltal axis and the another is at the Pahalgam axis. So all kind of arrangements are coming from the Jammu and Kashmir administration, because if we see the Yatra pattern post abrogation of Article 370, the 2 years of 2020-21 Yatra was put on hold because of the COVID restrictions, then picked up again in 2022 where some 4 lakh Yatris had registered their number with the Shrine Board, but this time the administration has already geared up with the 5 lakh Yatris when the expectations is around 8 lakh. So a lot of arrangements on time, and yes, tomorrow the another batch will leave from Baltal as well as from the Nunwan base camp. We are also seeing this Yatra provides a livelihood to the local community. Yesterday when we saw the visuals coming from the South Kashmir highway, the warm welcome was given to the Yatris by the locals because it supports the economy of the Jammu and Kashmir, be it the Poni wala, Palki wala, Dhandi wala, and anybody who's in this business of service providers to the Amarnath Yatra. Definitely it helps them to increase their livelihood, and also the Amarnath Yatra is this time the 2 months affair. This is a 62 days Yatra that has begun from today morning at 5 o'clock.
आप कह रहे शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं,
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
आप कह रहे हैं शरद पवार डबल गेम खेलते हैं?
खेला है,
आपके साथ डबल गेम खेला, बीजेपी के साथ शरद पवार ने डबल गेम खेला।
उस समय उन्होंने वैसा किया जो मैंने कहा। आप इसको किस फ्रेमवर्क में डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं मैं आप पर छोड़ता हूं, लेकिन मैं इतना कहता हूं कि अजित पवार और मैं अचानक उठकर सुबह शपथ लेने के लिए नहीं गए। ये तय हुआ था कि हम साथ में मिलकर करेंगे, हम दोनों को जिम्मेदारी दी गई थी, उस हिसाब से हमने सारी चीज़ें की थी, लेकिन बाद में चीज़ें बदली।
Monsoon session of Parliament from the 20th of July to the 11th of August. Will government introduce the much talked about UCC bill? Massive political face-off breaks out between BJP and CPIM. Citing Kerala Chief Minister's stand, BJP says CPIM is a Muslim party now. "25 passengers charged to death after the bus they were travelling in catches fire on the Samruddhi Expressway in Maharashtra."
फिर उद्धव ठाकरे को तो यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड पे अपना जो पोजीशन है वो क्लियर
बिल्कुल करना पड़ेगा। बाला साहब ठाकरे जी ने हमेशा यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड की बात की है। ये जो दोगली बात है, ऐसा करना चाहिए, बात करनी चाहिए,
मगर वो लाइन लेंगे कि ये तो इम्पोर्टेंट इशू नहीं है,
बोलते नहीं है सारी।
आपको लगता है हिम्मत नहीं है उनमें यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड के बारे में बात करने के लिए? हिम्मत नहीं है,
दिखानी चाहिए भाई, बाला साहब ठाकरे के बेटे हैं, दिखानी चाहिए।
और अगर अवॉइड करे तो क्या प्रूव होगा?
बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं, देश की जनता जानती है।
तो आप कह रहे हैं ही इज टुडे प्रैक्टिसिंग द पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ मुस्लिम अपीजमेंट, और ये सोच समझ के हुई है।
बिल्कुल।
एकनाथ शिंदे और देवेंद्र फडणवीस के बीच में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, और इसीलिए जो शिंदे गुट है उन्होंने ऐड लगा दी कि मोदी फॉर इंडिया, शिंदे जी फॉर महाराष्ट्र। इससे इंप्रेशन क्या जाता है? दैट देयर इज अ फाइट इन बिटवीन, एट द टॉप, बिटवीन एकनाथ शिंदे एंड देवेंद्र फडणवीस। आप दोनों में डिफरेंसेस क्या है?
देयर इज नो फाइट। शिंदे जी में और मुझ में जिस प्रकार का अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जो सिंक्रोनाइजेशन है, वो शायद ही किसी कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट में आपको देखने को मिलेगा। इतनी छोटी गलती पर हम दोनों में डिफरेंस हो जाएंगे, सरकार गिर जाएगी। हम लोगों ने सरकार एक बड़े एम के लिए बनाई है, ये कोई सरकार कुर्सियां तोड़ने के लिए थोड़ी बनाई है।
Thank you for joining us here on the biggest story tonight. It's 7 p.m. I'm Niranjan. We have two big stories tonight. But the biggest story tonight, we thought we should tell our viewers. There has been a development in the Sushant Singh Rajput case. We're getting you the details of what the Maharashtra Chief Minister has said and what one key aide of Aditya Thackeray has just told the media in the case. That and more coming up on the biggest story tonight. Here are the headlines. Development in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, Shinde assures justice, says expert panel has been formed. Key Aditya Thackeray aide calls for full investigation in the Sushant Singh Rajput case. He joins the Shinde camp. Congress leader backs Uniform Civil Code. He's a minister in Himachal Pradesh. The BJP says his party must take a cue now. Sources say Uniform Civil Code bill is likely during the monsoon session. Teesta Setalvad moves Supreme Court after the Gujarat High Court setback. She's been asked to surrender. Gujarat High Court says Teesta tried to unsettle then government and the Chief Minister then, who was Narendra Modi. Violence, arson, unrest. Paris continues to burn. There's a breaking news now coming in that there is no relief for Teesta Setalvad. She was a self-proclaimed activist who spent a large amount of time in her life fighting cases post-2002 riots. It appears now that most of those cases were fabricated, including the evidence. She went to court. She went to the Supreme Court after the Gujarat High Court asked her to surrender, refused to grant her bail. And we are hearing that there is no relief for Teesta Setalvad as of now from the Supreme Court. Supreme Court judges have referred cases to a larger bench, and both judges were unable to agree on whether relief should be granted to her, and hence the matter has been sent to a larger bench. The case will be placed before the Chief Justice of India to constitute an appropriate bench, which means she has not got any relief. So the Gujarat High Court order stands for now. She's been asked to surrender. Let me go across to Priyanka joining us on the broadcast. This is a breaking news update now coming in. There is absolutely no relief for Teesta Setalvad. Priyanka. Lost the line again with Priyanka there, but we'll go back to her. But the big breaking news update that we're getting in, that there is absolutely no relief for Teesta Setalvad, who was earlier jailed. Now, those are the Supreme Court observations which spoke about late Ahmed Patel of the Congress party helping her get funds, talking about how there's ample material against her which are of grave nature, is what the Gujarat High Court order read. And the court order went on to make some scathing observations about her intent to destabilize government in Gujarat back then, which was headed by Narendra Modi, who was then the Chief Minister in Gujarat. And the court order also said that her intention may have been to jail the then Chief Minister Modi. She was accused of influencing, threatening, giving false promises to the riot victims as well. And in the Supreme Court, she thought maybe she could get some relief, but there is no relief granted now. Priyanka, no interim relief for Teesta. Priyanka, can you hear me? Priyanka.
But absolutely, Niranjan. In fact, we are seeing a series of issues raising trouble mounting really for Teesta Setalvad, where we are seeing that no relief once again for Teesta Setalvad, even in the Supreme Court, as we have seen that the Supreme Court has now referred the entire case to a larger bench, and they have stated that both the judges, in fact, were unable to agree whether relief can be granted, and hence the matter has been sent to a larger bench. And we are now, of course, seeing that the case will be heard before the CJI to constitute an appropriate bench before this matter can be heard as well. But as of now, no momentary relief for Teesta Setalvad, as she had been expecting, as she and her legal teams had been expecting, to get a say on this entire matter from the Supreme Court, since the High Court had said, had directed her to surrender herself immediately without any delay, and because of which now she had gone to the Supreme Court, and even in the Supreme Court there's no relief granted to Teesta Setalvad. This is not the kind of response that they had in fact been expecting, and there will be a further hearing in this matter, which would essentially also be looking into the matter of whether or not Teesta Setalvad should be given the bail as well, looking at the seriousness of the allegations that have been leveled against her, the issues in fact of which she has been accused of, the modus operandi that has already come out in the open. All of these things will be considered on whether or not she should be given the bail, because remember, Niranjan, there is a precedence of this entire hearing as well. Even in the Metro Court, there had been several obiter dictums by the judges as well, where they had stated that Teesta Setalvad is somebody who has had antecedents in this entire matter. She has had political following, and that she had been in the good graces of leaders like Ahmed Patel, behest of whom she had been working on, and hence she can also tamper with this entire evidence. She can further tamper with the investigation, and that is the reason why she had not been given the bail in the very first place. And once again, now that she is out of the protection of the interim bail that had been granted to her by the Supreme Court last September in 2022, once again, all of these issues will be under the scrutiny at the apex court, where she will have to once again justify whether or not she will be given the bail. And there will be, of course, arguments on her antecedents and her involvement in this entire nexus that has come to light, the entire nexus that is still under the investigation. And that had also been the argument that had been put forth by the government of Gujarat, even here in the Ahmedabad court, where they had stated that they cannot risk a person like Teesta Setalvad to be out of judicial custody, to be out of police custody, hence because she might still have that kind of a political following, she might still have that kind of a political clout, even though the leader who had been named, that is the late Ahmed Patel, who is not around, but there are several other leaders that she might still be close to, and the nexus, how deep it runs, is something that the crime branch is also looking into, and they cannot risk Teesta Setalvad to be out and tampering with the evidence, tampering with the witnesses, because that is, remember, Niranjan, the very fact that she is being accused of is tampering of the witnesses. So all of these things have also been cited in the court, in the Metro Court in Ahmedabad, and once again we can expect these arguments to be put forth before the apex court as well when the bench is assembled. Niranjan.
Thank you for joining us with those inputs. No relief for Teesta Setalvad. The court has also spoken about how she was perhaps working at the behest of a political party, referring clearly to the Congress party, as the order also mentions the name of the late Ahmed Patel in this particular case. Some more breaking news update on the biggest story tonight. A few days back, the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, was in our Republic TV studios. He spoke to Arnab Goswami on Nation Wants to Know, and among all the different news points that came out of it, he made one mention when asked questions on the Sushant Singh Rajput case. He said there is new evidence that has come forth and that evidence has been examined. We have a statement now from the Maharashtra Chief Minister. That's the breaking news update coming in. Two key statements, in fact, that have come in this evening. Let's play that out.
सुशांत सिंह राजपूत प्रकरण असेल त्याची संपूर्ण चौकशी करायची मागणी केली पहिल्याच दिवशी हिंदी में जानना चाहिए
नहीं, जो है वो हकीकत है जिसकी जांच करनी चाहिए, उन्होंने मांग की है और निश्चित रूप से उसकी जांच हो जाएगी.
सुशांत सिंह राजपूत प्रकरण असेल त्याची संपूर्ण चौकशी करायची मागणी केली पहिल्याच दिवशी हिंदी में जानना चाहिए
नहीं, जो है वो हकीकत है जिसकी जांच करनी चाहिए, उन्होंने मांग की है और निश्चित रूप से उसकी जांच हो जाएगी.
There's another soundbite of a leader called Rahul Kanal, who's believed to be a close aide of Aditya Thackeray, and he's just joined the Shinde camp. I'll play that out as well. But Alisha, why is what Shinde says, and he says, he speaks of an expert panel, he speaks of the evidence and gathered, and he speaks about the probe being ongoing. Is there something new? Because even Devendra Fadnavis spoke about some new evidence that's come forward in this case.
Well, yes, Niranjan, because Devendra Fadnavis has clearly mentioned that there are some evidence that has come up, and now the investigation is still in progress. With this new evidence, there will be some evidence, and specifically the investigation that is being underway, and the truth will come out. And the same has been mentioned by Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. Clearly, when reporters asked him about the case of SSR investigation, where he said that investigation is still in progress, and of course the truth will come out one day. Well, speaking about Rahul Kanal, yes, Rahul Kanal, who is known to be a very close aide of Aditya Thackeray, who has joined Eknath Shinde's faction, clearly mentioned that there were several questions that was raised on him, saying that he's joining Eknath Shinde